So we have to do a review of the newspapers. We have a couple of them in the studio. But throughout the period, you can get interactive through the number 0560 800,000. It's a number on WhatsApp platform. And then we're streaming live on our Facebook page, Joy News on TV. Let's look at some of those stories. We'll start with the Daily Graphic. It has on the front page Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's picture facing a Photoshop picture of a crowd, and that crowd was at the Accra Sports Stadium. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was also addressing them. He's a president-elect of the Republic of Ghana. Let's chart a new path, president-elect. And President Mahama invites West African leaders to Nana Akufo-Addo's inauguration. I said that already. Aglo holds annual Thanksgiving service in Accra. And the back page has a story: Births and Deaths Registry expresses concern over non-registration of the dead. Very good. Non-registration of the dead. Let's look at another story first on the front, then we'll look at that one. But that story is on page 3 of the paper. It says a non-denominational church service was held at the Accra Sports Stadium yesterday for the New Patriotic Party to thank God for its victory in the December polls. Okay. So we fast forward, and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is calling on Ghanaians who felt offended by what happened during and in the aftermath of the polls to act with kindness and magnanimity to forgive those who might have offended them. Forgiveness is important. Very good morning to you. Whoever needs to be forgiven and also needs to be receptive for forgiveness. A very good morning to you. Now we go to the other story. It talks about Births and Deaths Registry expresses concern over non-registration of the dead. And the story basically says that the registry has expressed concern over the low level of death registration in the country. And in spite of its importance to policy formulation and evaluation, the registry observed that very few people paid heed to the civic responsibility of registering the death of their family members. Okay, so I thought if somebody dies in the hospital, you should know, because everybody is almost taken to the morgue at some point before you're buried, because they need to do an autopsy. And the Senior Assistant Registrar of Births and Deaths, Seth Bosompem Kisi, in an interview said that the setback of data information was associated with the cultural dimension of bereaved families who tended to focus on the dead person rather than ensuring that the civic rights to register the dead were done. I think you're supposed to get those figures from the hospital or the morgue. Still doesn't. So it means that if my relative dies, I have to walk to a death and death registry, a birth and death registry, and go and register. I think we need better particulars on this. So we'll try and see whether our producers can get hold of somebody from the place, and then we can speak to them. The center spread of the Daily Graphic has the story. Poor roads and transport means in rural Ghana. So it gives you a vivid description of what people go through. We have the Daily Dispatch newspaper. It says 2016 Presidential Elections Analysis, Volume 5, or Number 5. Focus on Upper East and Upper West regions. We also have pink sheets of 2016 presidential elections. All right. And then we have the Ghanaian Times. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have Let's Unite for Progress. 2 die in accidents. Police urged to investigate poll-related offenses. And Anna thanks Volta region for role in victory. Back page, Blessing. Why All-Stars sweep PLB awards. GOC forms 3-member election commission, and we have stars to camp in Dubai. Where are we holding the event? The next African Cup of Nations, I believe, is taking place somewhere in Gabon, and we're going to camp in Dubai. Yo. The Daily Statesman says, let's forgive one another. President-elect urges Ghanaians. Akufo-Addo won't inhibit parliament. And then we have Pastor urges young politicians to use Akufo-Addo as a guide. Gloria Kufuor, many things went wrong under Mahama's government. Kufuor again, I will bring development to the Volta region. Okay. The new Crusading Guide has on the front page, President-elect Kufuor condemns attacks, preaches forgiveness as MPP paints Accra white. We will make Volta region our bride. Nana Addo promises the people of the Volta region. The Daily Guide newspaper has on the front page Nana Addo's call for forgiveness. Let's forgive. Everybody who did anything negative against you before, during, and after the polls, please, Ghanaians, let's forgive. It's only when you forgive that's when you can move on. After all, that's life. C'est la vie. Ce n'est pas? So we have NDC signs fresh 18 million euro contract. Soldiers vandalize police station in Takoradi. Those are the stories we have on the front page. Usually, I like looking at the center spread. Let me look at what's there. We won't look at it. So we have the finder. That fake U.S. embassy story. We dare U.S. government. Owners of building in question call for evidence. This story made rounds. And apparently, the owners are saying that the building was not used for the purposes for which the story that broke throughout the international media seemed to have claimed. Let's forgive each other. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President-elect. The last paper we're looking at is the Business and Financial Times. It has on the front page, policy rates seen falling below 20% next year. That's very good. It's good for businesses. Next year, the way the projections are going, God bless. Shukran. Renegotiating IMF deal needless, economists, and Access Bank to list on Ghana Stock Exchange on Wednesday. Very good as well. But that'll be it for the newspapers. We have a lot more stories on our various online portals. And we have to start with myjoyonline.com. It has on the main page, you go there, you'll find Nigeria church which collapsed, killing dozens, had structural faults. And apparently, a church in Nigeria that collapsed last Saturday, killing dozens of people, had multiple structural faults and no building permits, according to regulators. It's not an unpeculiar sight to Africa and sometimes the rest of the world. But it's about detecting those and making sure. Sometimes you hear about buildings, bridges collapsing in India or China, and sometimes we've had our own share of collapse of buildings across. Renowned neuro-linguistic programming practitioner brings courses to Accra. There's a lady called Jessica Robbins, renowned practitioner and trainer of neuro-linguistic programming, and is coming to Ghana to facilitate 2 NLP certification courses. Can we read this one? This will be nice. We'll read this one. Jessica Robbins, I'm sure she's British. Jessica Robbins, yeah, that's all. And it says the 2 courses, NLP Diploma and NLP Practitioner, will see participants go through intensive 4-day and 1-week certification courses starting on January 7. Oh, the day we're inaugurating our president, 2017. You have to make sure that date, start of that course date is a problem. And it says the courses will be held at where it's supposed to be held. You just have to check on myjoyonline.com. Let's go back and read the rest of the stories, Fred, if we can. By Jessica Robbins, you're welcome to Ghana, or anytime you come, please make sure that let's have a cup of coffee. Let's have a cup of coffee when you're around. Policymakers urge to review farmers' access to seeds and fertilizer. And apparently a new study into the access to quality inputs by Ghanaian farmers has called for a re-evaluation of existing fertilizer subsidy program and channels for obtaining improved seeds. Akufo-Addo government will complete project started by Mahama. And this is Dr. Archibald Lecha. Dr. Archibald Lecha is the Vice chairman of the MPP for the Volta region. And you have a full text of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's speech at the Thanksgiving service. It was basically about forgiveness. We need to forgive each other. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Akufo-Addo leaves to Nigeria for a 3-day visit. We are blessed people in Ghana, Akufo-Addo declares. Abuse of Ghanaian women in Middle East on the rise, according to the International Organization for Migration, raising concern about constant abuse of Ghanaian women, especially young women, in the Gulf regions. And I have a friend there, Zaria. Very good morning to you. I know by this time you're not watching, but so we have other stories there. You check out the page. A lot of stuff for you to look at. Government handling overnote meets MPP scrutiny on Monday. So we'll see how it goes. You have a picture there of former finance minister. You also have a picture there of Hannah Tete, the current foreign affairs minister. City FM online, VRA owed 5 billion Ghana cedis. Angry staff laments. Let's see. Nana Addo leaves for Nigeria on a 3-day visit. Let's forgive each other. Nana Addo urges Ghanaians. That was a very rallying and a good call. God will give Nana Addo wisdom to govern Ghana. Prophet Owusu Bempah. Very good. Ghana needs all the grace that it can get. And then we have other stories as well. Please, the news portal, City FM Online is also there. Let's go to the Africa page of the BBC. Mugabe to stand for 2018 election. Charlie, can you click this story for us? Hi, Grand P Mugabe. It says, please, let's read the headlines well. Come, let's go. Zimbabwe's ZANU-PF apparently has confirmed that Mugabe obeys 2018 election candidate. Hala ilala. Please, wait. Zimbabwe's governing ZANU-PF party has confirmed that President Robert Mugabe will be its candidate for the 2018 elections. Mr. Mugabe, who is 92, has been in power since independence from Britain in 1980. 36 in power. Hey. At the party's conference, the ZANU-PF youth wing even proposed that Mr. Mugabe should be declared president for life. Africa. However, there have been unprecedented protests this year against Zimbabwe's economic turmoil and Mr. Mugabe's leadership. The ZANU-PF has also suffered serious infighting as factions battle it out to succeed Mr. Mugabe once he eventually leaves. But the proposition I should stand for 28 is 2016. I thought we did by 94. Africa. His supporters broke into thunderous applause and chanted, "Tongai, Tongai Baba, Rule Father," as the ZANU-PF annual conference in the southeastern town of Masvingo nominated Mr. Mugabe over the weekend. In his acceptance speech, he also accepted, 92-year-old. Mr. Mugabe called for an end to apathy and fighting. He is quoted here saying, "We agreed that conflict should end. Infighting should end. The party ideology should be followed," he said. "Let us be one. We are one family. The family of ZANU-PF bound together by the fact of understanding between its members," according to the 92-year-old president. Well, let's go back and see whether we can get other stories there. President Robert Mugabe. 92. Then we have other stories there. There's something also happening in the DRC. You know, we all know Joseph Kabila. He was the son of a former rebel leader who became vice president, etc. Laurent Kabila, killed subsequently. His son has been in power, doesn't want to live too. Africa. Ghana, when we try, we just change government rough. President will accept. New party will come. Party president will say, let's all forge peace. In other parts of the continent, it's not happening. It can't happen. So you go to DRC, you see, President Joseph Kabila's decision to extend his term in office heightens tension in DR Congo, already destabilized by numerous armed groups. So they say from yesterday, armed groups have been scattered in Kinshasa and the other parts of the DRC. We all know that DRC used to be called Zaire, and Zaire used to be ruled by Mobutu Sese Seko. Hey, who Mobutu? Now, who Kabila is around? He doesn't want to leave. Young Kabila. Anyway, I believe his role model is ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF's Robert Mugabe. But we have other sports stories, and we'll be doing sports very soon. But Africa highlights: UN cancels Gambia general visits. Wind rips open Zuma's tent during speech. A lot of things are happening in Africa. Gambia too is there. Ghana cry, how do we do it? In sports, we have Vardy off as Amate earns Leicester a point. Amate is a Ghanaian player. Daniel Amate is a midfielder cum defender. He will play in the next African Cup of Nations by all means, only if we don't conspire to put him on the bench. Because now we don't have many players playing on the top flight. Only Christian Achu playing in the championship. We have the Middlesbrough man also, Adoma. Then we have young Amate, well, young, relatively young, football age, young, and playing for Leicester. He's doing what he gave us. And then we have Shaka and the player, all those people. It's not easy for Ghanaian players now. Guinea-Bissau named 35-man Nations Cup squad. It's only going to take place in 21 days or 22 days. I think it's starting on January 10 or so, if I'm not wrong. It's in Gabon. But we'll be traveling to Dubai. Dubai, oh. Go and train in Dubai. Come and play in Africa region, Gabon. It's not that we're going to play in the Dubai sun. We're going to play air-conditioned room in Dubai. It's not a good thing. If Benedict comes, we have to ask him. And that is why Benedict Owusu will be here to bring us a lot more sports. And just in case you want a lot more details, you can go to those various online portals. Famously, this should be your number one. MyJoyOnline.com is always available. We bring you a lot more news tidbits, and we have a lot more of our videos, have connecting links also there. And many videos we've put on YouTube is all for your comfort and to get you a lot more informed and educated. But right now, we have to give you a lot more information on the latest tidbits in the world of sports, and Benedict Owusu will be here with a lot more. Please, we're taking a break. We'll be right back.